Merry Christmas. Is there a new candidate for Baltimore's next mayor? How Thuruvignerajah could shake up next year's race. A group of young people breaks into a Madison Park home. The brazen crime caught on camera. An update tonight on a teaching assistant accused of bringing a loaded weapon to school. Why she says she had the gun in the first place.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
An announcement today that could shake up the Baltimore mayoral race. Former federal and state prosecutor Thuruvignerajah says he's forming an exploratory committee to weigh a mayoral bid. Vignerajah, a Democrat, ran unsuccessfully for Baltimore City State's attorney in 2022 and for mayor in 2020. Mayor Brandon Scott won the 2020 mayoral primary with nearly 30% of the vote. Vignerajah finished fourth with just over 11% of the vote. And now some political analysts are saying if Vignerajah chooses to run, he could shake things up once again, possibly splitting the votes.
It is. It's a real possibility. And in the worst situation for Sheila Dixon and for him, this could redound to the mayor's advantage. But I think it's a risk worth taking. I think he could pull this off. I'm not saying he will, but I think he could.
Vignerajah saying today in a statement that part of his motivation to run again is residents' frustration with what he says is, quote, ineptitude and corruption in city government. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Rebecca Pryor. We have team coverage tonight of recent juvenile crime throughout Baltimore City. In just a few minutes, Amy Simpson has an update on an alarming new trend after 5 guns are found inside city schools in just 2 days. But first, Vincent Hill joins us with new video capturing the moment a group of juveniles break into a Madison Park home.
Yeah, the video is quite shocking, but also a realization of what we've heard from prosecutors and police, that juveniles seem to not care about what they're doing or being caught.
Look at this group of juveniles who appear to be hanging out. Seconds later, another camera captures what they do next. The young burglars then make themselves at home, even going through the fridge while the homeowner's dog is feet away.
This is just crazy. Go in the fridge like they're at their own house.
Fox 45 showed the video to Pastor David Grissom, whose church is in the neighborhood.
Our young people need much guidance. They need a lot of prayer. They need an old-fashioned whipping.
Grissom says things could have gone really bad really fast.
If the homeowner was there, if the homeowner would have shot one of them, then the parent would have been on TV.
According to the homeowner, the juveniles were arrested, but because of their age, released just a few hours later.
Baby booking is not always the answer for some of these kids, because some of them are just outrageous.
Brazen crimes committed by juveniles, a heated topic at this week's Your Voice, Your Future town hall, hosted by Fox 45.
A hospitality worker was held up outside of my front window at gunpoint at 3 in the afternoon. Later on that night, 3 teenagers came back looking for the evidence they discarded, running away from police.
And the fear of no consequences brought up in Monday's town hall on juvenile crime, with DJS Secretary Vincent Schiraldi front and center.
I also know kids that are laughing at the cops when they arrest them, and I know the cops that are frustrated by re-arresting the same juveniles.
Grissom, like many others, looking to Annapolis for change to the ever-growing juvenile crime crisis.
It is my prayer that laws be on the books that will really do something about this crime. It is outrageous. It is outrageous. And something really needs to be done. I want to see the governor get behind the state's attorney.
And of course, lawmakers will meet next month in Annapolis to tackle juvenile crime, which is on everyone's top of mind. In Baltimore, Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Tonight, we're learning more about the instructional assistant accused of bringing a loaded 9mm handgun to Kip Harmony Academy yesterday. Charging documents for Tracy Minor reveal a custodian found Minor's purse in a bathroom Thursday morning. Filings also say that Minor told investigators she was rushing to get to work and had no intention of bringing the bag to school. Minor claims she uses the gun for protection, telling police she drives for Uber after work. Baltimore City Schools says minor is not a school system employee.
As a parent, as a grandparent, I'm sure that people, who have kids at Baltimore City Schools have a lot of questions.
That reaction from a law enforcement expert after 5 guns were recovered from Baltimore City Schools in just 2 days. Fox 45's Amy Simpson completes our team coverage with more on the alarming number of guns confiscated inside city schools.
Today, the district telling me it's considering adding a new weapons detection system at its school buildings. And this comes after at least half a dozen incidents involving guns at Baltimore City Schools just since September. In September, an 8th grade student arrested after a gun was found at Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School. Later that month, a 15-year-old Dunbar High School student accidentally shot himself in the leg while on school property.
That's just messed up. Like, why you gotta get a gun? Like, why can't you just tell your parents about it?
In October, a 7th grade student was taken into custody after bringing a loaded handgun to Joseph Briscoe Academy. By late November, a gun was found inside a student's backpack at Creative City Charter School. Sources told Fox 45 News that student was just 7 years old. And finally, this week, a 15-year-old Dunbar High School student arrested Wednesday. Sources said 3 loaded guns were tied to the teen, and 2 incidents Thursday. An instructional assistant charged for bringing a loaded gun to Kip Harmony Academy in the morning. And by later that afternoon, a gun found at Frederick Douglass High School.
I mean, that's unacceptable.
This week's incidents totaling 5 guns recovered from inside city schools in just 2 days.
They come in through our scanners, and we even had the wands to wand them too. So how they got them in there, I really don't know. I really don't know how it got in there, because we do a thorough job of making sure that we screen everybody to come into the school.
It definitely makes me say that perhaps I need to move my child out of the school.
Today, a national law enforcement expert on the prevalence of kids and teens with weapons.
When we talk about juvenile crime, the problem is people who are under the age of 18 know that they are not going to face much, if any, punishment if they commit a felony like bringing a gun to school.
Today, we questioned Baltimore City Schools, in part asking how guns are evading metal detectors at city high schools. The district not directly answering that question, but saying it relies on screenings at controlled entry points, metal detectors at high schools, city schools police, and reports of inappropriate activity to keep guns from getting on campus. City schools did indicate it was a student or staff member who alerted to the weapons found at both Kip Harmony and Douglass High School this week. And online court records reveal that instructional assistant who allegedly brought a gun to Kip Harmony Academy yesterday is out on bond. In Baltimore, Amy Simpson, Fox 45 News.
Baltimore police are investigating a homicide on North Patterson Park Avenue. Officers responded to reports of a shooting around 1:30 this afternoon. Police say they discovered a man with multiple gunshot wounds. The victim was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Moments later, another man walked into an area hospital, also with gunshot wounds. The second victim's status is unclear at this time. Homicide detectives believe both victims were shot on North Patterson Park Avenue. Anyone with information is urged to contact police or call Metro Crime Stoppers. Who would steal a pair of community trash cans? It was a mystery to Morale Park residents who say they have been struggling to keep their neighborhood clean. That was until home surveillance video showed a city garbage truck collecting the can instead of the trash. Unlike your green residential trash cans,
we just fill it and they collect it on Monday.
That are easily wheeled from one place to another. Baltimore City's black community trash cans are built to stay, except for the ones on the 2500 block of Washington Boulevard that seemingly grew legs and walked away.
I was wondering where they went.
For as long as Anthony Mills can remember,
I've lived here most of my life.
The community cans played a critical role in keeping Morale Park clean.
We do have some folks that live on the boulevard that, they just leave their trash out. On a windy day, it'll start to blow around and just make a mess.
It's a neighborhood known for its challenges, which is why Mills assumed
somebody must have taken them for recycle or for, to turn them in for money.
Until home surveillance footage from across the street revealed the city's cans were snatched by the city?
It was appalling that the city workers, took our metal trash cans and destroyed them.
Following dozens of 311 complaints requesting the overflowing cans be emptied more often. Instead, the Department of Public Works responding by clearing the curb and crushing the cans.
Maybe because we complain, maybe somebody said, we'll fix them. We'll go ahead and pick them up and get rid of them. It's just like, come on, it's a community trash can. You all live in the city as well. I just don't get it.
And the city can't explain it either. In a statement sent to Fox 45, a DPW spokesperson writing in part, quote, the unauthorized removal and destruction of these trash cans is prohibited as it goes against our commitment to providing quality services to the community. The new cans have been received and residents can be assured that the trash cans will be promptly replaced.
It's a disrespect to the neighborhood, knowing that other neighborhoods get treated a little bit better than what we do.
Still left wondering why the cans were taken in the first place and when the new ones will arrive.
Why can't we get the same energy that other communities get as well?
Mills says with all of the problems plaguing his community.
I do Santa, sharing the holiday spirit. And when it's dirty, we can't do that.
The least the city can do is gift them a couple of trash cans.
It is my Christmas wish.
Fox 45 News is following breaking news tonight. The MTA announces that light rail service will resume tomorrow, December 23rd. That's great news, especially for people who rely on light rail to get to and from work. Light rail services were suspended earlier this month following inspections of 53 light rail cars after a fire back in October. With services returning tomorrow, those temporary shuttle buses, or what's known as bridge buses, between light rail stations will no longer run. But you'll, of course, have regular bus service operating. This is a developing story, so we ask that you stay with Fox 45 News for the latest updates on air and online.
I'm Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Coming up, why lawmakers are concerned the terror watch list itself might be a national security risk.
And we are getting ready for our next weather maker. That's going to come late next week following Christmas. But before that, good for travel tomorrow and through the holiday. I'll let you know what to expect as we get closer to Christmas in my Weather Authority forecast.
Fox 45 News, winner of 16 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Welcome back. As millions of Americans travel this holiday season, many will encounter long security lines at the airport. St. Clair National correspondent Kayla Gaskins joins us from Washington, where a group of senators worry that the measures in place to keep us safe might be stretched a little too thin.
The hustle and bustle of holiday travel filling airports nationwide. TSA on track to screen a near record number of passengers over the coming days. Long security lines became the new normal following the terror attacks on September 11th, 2001. This time period also saw the creation of the terror watch list, identifying individuals who could want to harm America. That list now coming under scrutiny by Senate Democrats. A recently published 43-page report raises concerns about how the list is being maintained and implemented by the Department of Homeland Security.
There's an increasing obligation upon DHS to do more and more and more things with the same resources.
The report points out a watch list that's not properly maintained is itself a national security risk. Lawmakers worry the list is overbroad, possibly including people who shouldn't be on it. Aram Gavor, an associate dean for GW Law School, says it's hard to get off the list once you're on it.
That takes case-by-case individualized attention, which is time intensive.
The watch list continues to grow exponentially, doubling in size in the last 6 years. Now about 2 million people are on it, mostly foreigners. Less than 7,000 of the total list are U.S. citizens and lawful permanent residents. But Gavor argues the list does appear to be doing its job.
We have not seen another September 11th style attack in terms of scope. And that can be classified as a success.
The list is also being used to monitor security at the southern border as people on the terror watch list attempt to enter the country illegally. The border crisis is yet another strain on the already limited resources of the Department of Homeland Security. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
Holiday travel is in full swing, as you can see there, with Christmas just 3 days away. Here is a look at BWI this morning with travelers lining up to head home for the holidays. That looks like a nightmare. U.S. airlines say that they're ready after last year's widespread delays and cancellations. According to FlightAware, although it doesn't look like it there, airlines have canceled a little more than 1% of flights so far this year, down from more than 2% last year. Now let's get on over for a check of your holiday forecast with meteorologist Jasmine Lomax.
Thanks, Rebecca. We are in for a pretty quiet and cool night. Clouds are going to linger. You can see over Baltimore and over Towson that it's nice and quiet. Not too much happening on the HD radar, but showers to the west could lead to impacts over the weekend for holiday travel as we deal with a weather maker around the region. However, for Marylanders, we're talking a mostly dry and quiet forecast, good for travel around the state. 40 for the current temperature with mostly cloudy skies and a wind chill in the mid-30s. We're seeing temperatures around the state in the 30s and the low 40s. The numbers are quickly starting to fall, but with mostly cloudy skies, it won't be too bitter overnight. We've been mostly dry thanks to high pressure over the region. It looks great to the south if you're heading that way, traveling that way. It looks nice and quiet with not much happening. To our west, we're tracking a few showers impacting parts of western Maryland, and then we're seeing some areas of rain ahead of a cold front. That could lead to showers across Pennsylvania and some snow into portions of New England tomorrow. So if you are traveling north, you certainly want to make sure that you are checking the radar before you head out and driving safely. Tonight, we stay dry here as temperatures drop to the 20s and 30s. By the afternoon, we're looking at temperatures above average, reaching the upper 40s and the low 50s with mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. If you still need to do the last-minute holiday shopping, it'll be a good day to get out and do that with dry weather forecast. Notice we start with cloudy skies tomorrow, then by the afternoon, mostly dry. There could be an isolated shower across parts of Pennsylvania. The rain chances continue into the evening. Then overnight, possibly a stray shower across our area. Most of us, though, stay dry, and we'll start the day with mostly cloudy skies on Christmas Eve. Then for Christmas morning, we're looking at some breaks in the clouds and some sunshine, but the clouds return by the afternoon, so expect a cloudy holiday. That's until the rain comes. That will lead to showers late Monday night into Tuesday, and that could have an impact on your travel plans. So make sure that after Christmas, you're driving safely. The rain chances continue through Friday. Coming up, I'll let you know just how warm it gets for Christmas in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
The sun is a star. It was the star on this day after the winter solstice. In Southwest Virginia, there was this intense sundog. Impressive on its own, but it was half of a double. And check out this trio of sunrises. First, the view from on board a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean, then from Garden City, South Carolina, as the sun rises over the beach. Finally, an appearance near Columbus, Ohio.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
The pressure is on the Biden administration to evacuate American citizens trapped in Gaza. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C. The lawsuit just filed, and you'll hear from a Palestinian-American woman who's already lost 100 members of her family to war.
Welcome back. The White House is feeling pressure from Palestine Americans, with some now suing the Biden administration for not doing enough to get their family members out of Gaza. The National Desk's Angela Brown has their story.
So many family members, uncles, grandparents, children, many more trapped in Gaza.
When I do go to sleep, I dream about my family members being killed.
Right now, reality in Gaza is a hellish nightmare.
Just the other day, my aunt told me that the area that they live in is fully gone.
Airstrikes, a humanitarian crisis. Yasmin Alaga's family in the crisis intake system, running out of food and medicine.
Burak is at risk of losing a limb. Hashem is at risk of turning septic. They don't have any medication.
Thousands of miles away in Illinois, Yasmin, a Palestinian American, is trying to save them, including 2 cousins who are American citizens.
I have contacted every single one of my congressional reps multiple times.
Yasmin now suing the Biden administration, demanding the U.S. do more to evacuate them and all American citizens in Gaza.
It's meant to bring attention to the fact that Palestinian Americans trapped in Gaza are being left for dead.
For its part, the Biden administration is urging Israel to do more to spare lives.
The safety of innocent Palestinians is still of great concern.
But Yasmin has already lost too much.
I've lost over 100 family members already.
She says her family has been in Gaza for hundreds of years. Now she's dreaming of reuniting with them on American soil. Alive.
I imagine, running to them in the airport and hugging them so tight. They told me the first thing they want to do when they come here is try KFC. I imagine all of those little moments, and I truly, truly pray for them.
Here's the lawsuit that was filed right here. It's basically accusing the federal government of not doing enough to evacuate American citizens in a war zone. In this case, it's Palestinian Americans. It also says that Yasmin's cousins, their names have not been added to the exit list. Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
We are looking at quiet weather through Christmas Day, but we'll have cloudy skies. 50 for the high tomorrow, then 53 on Christmas Eve. 56 on Christmas Day, keeping us about 10 degrees above average. 56 on Tuesday with the next chance for rain, and the rain continues on Wednesday, 57. Temperatures start to fall after that, 54 on Friday, then 40s on Friday with the chance for rain. After that, temperatures in the 40s through the new year. Rebecca.
Thanks, Jasmine. And finally tonight, the U.S. military is ready to track the location of Santa as kids around the world eagerly await his arrival on Christmas. NORAD will keep a close eye on Santa and his sleigh from the moment that he departs the North Pole on Christmas Eve. The military will track Santa using the same technology that keeps North America safe, with a little help, of course, from Rudolph's nose. It's a special mission every year so families can follow Santa as he travels the globe. You can track him yourself this Christmas Eve at NORADSanta.com. That's all for your Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We will see you again tonight at 10.